Hello, guys. Welcome to the Turnover Podcast. This is our first ever episode. And in today's, we're going to be going over all of our 24-25 season rankings for the quarterback rankings for last season.
Sounds good. Let's get started.
All right, Carter, you go. You say you're 32 first.
All right, for 32, I have the Tennessee Titans' Will Levis.
Ooh, that he did not do very good. I have the Cleveland Browns' Deshaun Watson.
That's valid.
All right, Emmett.
I have the Dolphins' Tua.
Oh, my God.
Oh, goodness. That is a little bit low.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty low there.
Why do you think he's that low?
Well, he was injured and has made some very dumb decisions. And I know that doesn't necessarily correlate with his stats. But my opinions...
He still had almost 3,000 yards in 11 games.
Yeah.
But we can all have our own opinions here.
Okay. Carter? Who do you have 31?
For 31, I have from New York, Daniel Jones, just because he's very reckless, not reliable, and it was a very good decision for the New York Giants to move on from him. Having a ratio of 8 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, and then only throwing for 2,000 yards is not something you want on your repertoire.
I agree with that. I have, at 31, I have Will Levis from the Titans.
Okay.
He was a very big meme, but he also really sucked. I mean, 13 touchdowns to 12 interceptions is not
one of the
not very good.
One of the funnest quarterbacks to watch for sure.
Yeah,
but
just
not
'cause
for
of
the
how reckless
not
he
for
is.
the right reasons.
For sure.
All right.
Emmett,
Who do you have for 31?
I also have Will Levis.
Good call.
Ooh,
Good
nice.
call there.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
All right. So for number 30, I have from Cleveland. I know you already said this, Porter, but I have Deshaun Watson.
Ooh, yeah.
Very
he sucked.
bad season, and
Yeah.
I think that it would be very stupid for the Browns to keep rolling with him, and that is just a big mistake.
Dude, he actually had a historically bad season, though, honestly.
Yes, he did very
7
very
games
bad.
and 5 touchdowns is crazy.
Yep, and also the 3 picks. Like, given he didn't have a lot to throw to, like he had like Jerry Jeudy, who did have a very good season.
He went crazy with
But
Jameson
that was
Williams, or
Jameis Winston.
James Winston, my bad.
All right. Anyways, who do you have for 30?
At 30, I have Daniel Jones.
Yep.
We already know why.
And then who do you have for 30?
I was having a hard time picking, and I ended up putting Aaron Rodgers.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Which I didn't really know what to put there. I was just trying to.
That's fair.
He didn't have a great season, but he had a decent season.
He's
had
100 yards short of a 4,000-yard season, and he had a ratio of 28-11.
That's pretty darn good.
That's pretty good.
I
But
was having a hard time ranking.
Especially with the receivers, like I guess.
Dude, he
like
had Garrett Wilson,
he
Devontae
had,
Adams.
He had Garrett
Get
Wilson
outta
and
here.
Devontae Adams. Like,
He did have a pretty good team.
so I guess that they
He's
did.
really low there, EJ.
Yeah, I disagree with that one, but that's all you. All right, for 29, I know he didn't play a whole lot this season, but I have Aiden O'Connell. Just a historically just bad season. He almost won against the Chiefs, and then just the atrocity of that one fumbled snap. Just not a very good season for him.
Yeah. At 29, I have Trevor Lawrence. I know that's low, but personally, I hate Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he started 10 games, 2,000 yards, a 3.9% touchdown percentage. I don't know.
That's fair.
All right, who do you got?
I had Anthony Richardson.
Okay.
Ooh, that's pretty low.
That is, I agree with that, but
Really?
I agree that it's low.
Oh, yeah.
He was shy of 2,000 yards passing.
Yeah, well, he didn't start, actually.
A ratio of 8-12. That's pretty bad. That's a good point.
I'm not gonna switch up my list, but I did not realize that he was that bad. My bad.
That's a
You
very
should
very
have gone
bad
over your
season.
stats and been more prepared like Atlas.
Bro, you didn't know who half these people were.
You had Tua.
You had Tua at last.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that was my bad on that one. I drafted him in the 4th round of fantasy, so
I did
I'm a
too.
little bit.
he messed up a lot of people's fantasy seasons.
I'm a little bit overly attached to him for sure.
Okay. For 28, I have Dak Prescott. And I know he got hurt, but he has one of the best receivers in the league, and he just was not able to win games. And I know that that's not entirely on him, but as the leader of that Cowboys team, I just don't feel like he just didn't do enough for the organization.
Yeah. At my 28, I had AOC, because, I mean, we've already gone over it.
Yeah.
He just bad season.
Yep.
Overall.
All right.
63% completion percentage.
Just horrible.
That's me in Madden numbers because I throw it deep every time.
Yep. All right. Who do you got for 28?
I have Derek Carr.
Okay, that's not crazy.
Yeah. I put him higher.
It's a little lower
than
he had a decent season. He had some decent stats.
Yeah, 15-5, but he
his
got
passing
hurt.
yards weren't extremely impressive, and he did get injured. So
Yeah.
I had him a lot higher than I should.
Yeah.
So for 27, I actually have Derek Carr. Just gone over it. Just he got hurt, and it's not all because of injury, but he just not great season.
Yeah.
And also, he made a ton of people believe that he was a top 5 quarterback in those first 2 weeks of the season. Where
Oh my gosh,
the
that
Saints
run was crazy.
did incredible, and then they just kind of fell off and became one of the worst teams in the league. So, just disappointing, I guess, is the word that I could use. All right, who do you have for 27, Porter?
I have Kirk Cousins, and I know that's low, but
I feel that.
I don't.
That stretch of games where he had like 10 interceptions.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, 18 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. I don't know.
That's a Jameis Winston stat right there.
For real, yeah.
All right, and then who do you have for?
I mean, if you're benching him for the rookie after you're paying him that much money,
yeah,
that's a bad performance.
That's a good point. Who do you have for 27, Emmett?
I have Daniel Jones.
Okay, that's a little.
It's a little high up.
It's a little high up, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did have some pretty good. He had some decent rushing yards.
Who do you have for?
Yeah, but not a whole lot else. All right.
You got.
It's
that's pretty high there. That's pretty high.
For
there.
26, I have, as already mentioned, I have big Kirk Cousins from the Atlanta Falcons. Just got
paid
that. Yeah. He just got paid way too much money to do that bad, and it's just very disappointing.
I mean, I know he's coming off the ACL tear, but still.
All right, who do you have for 26?
For 26, I have Dak.
Okay,
I know that's low, but I mean high. I mean, I know that's high, but like, I don't know. He was doing decent, but the Cowboys, their whole organization with the owner and everything's falling apart.
Okay, yeah, I totally, I could not agree more.
EJ.
I also had big Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, just a horrible season.
All right, who do you have at 25?
At 25, I have the Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa.
Ooh, I have him at 25 as well.
Yeah.
I had him a little low.
You did.
A little bit low there.
That's for sure.
I mean, 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's still pretty good.
It's a good ratio, and
he was injured, so
just bad decision making though, because those injuries were almost 100% on him.
For sure.
Then he just kept doing reckless things that just made me drop him down a little bit. Like,
I mean, 4.8 touchdown percentage is pretty good though.
Yeah, and then the 2,800 yards is.
He kind of sold Tyreek's season. Though.
Yeah. That's another guy that disappointed in fantasy. That Tyreek,
for sure.
Just bad. And then you have Tua at 25.
Yeah. So who do you have at 25, Emmett?
Yep.
I have AOC.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
That's a little high, but it's not crazy.
Yeah.
It's not crazy.
Okay. All right. At 24, I have Trevor Lawrence. I just don't like Trevor Lawrence, and I know that it's a little high, but like he threw for 2,000 yards. And
before getting injured.
Yeah, like playing 10 games and throwing 2,000 yards. That's still pretty good. Like almost on track for a 4,000 yard season. I know it's a little bit low, but like he had a ratio of 11-7. Just kind of just a bad season in general. Like
yeah, At 24, I had Anthony Richardson. I never realized that's really high, but again, I
Really
regret.
high. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's go back to these stats here. 8 touchdowns, 12 interceptions,
Yeah.
starting 11 games. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I overvalued him because of that stupid fantasy
Yeah.
pick. I wish I drafted some. Wait, no, I drafted him. Yeah, I
Fourth
drafted
round.
him in the
Fourth
4th,
round,
and
yes.
then Mark Andrews in the 3rd, and then cut him before he started.
And
Before he
I
got like
picked him up.
3 points.
Yep.
Yeah, you suck.
Okay, and then who do you have at 24?
I have Caleb Williams.
Okay, that's a little low in my opinion. Like,
It's a little low. He did have.
I don't know. I think he kind of got himself in.
He had a decent season.
if you look at his coaches and if you look at his O-line,
But I'm just
And
saying,
take that
if you
into
watch him, he
consideration.
did hold the ball a lot longer than he should.
Yes, but he did have
I agree
some
with
very
that,
good stats.
but
I need a
With
time
around
before throw.
3,500
I need a time before
yards,
throw
passing
stat
yards.
here. I don't have that.
all right. So 23. This is way too high, and I now realize that. But I have Anthony Richardson. It's just
Yeah, I think me and you messed up on that one a little
I'm
bit.
just gonna leave it at that, and then just pass it on.
Yeah.
Who do you
At
got?
23, I had Rodgers. I did not realize. I don't know. I should have put him. If I were to redo this, I'd put him up at like 15. The team did not do good, and I feel like that's also on him because I watched a lot of Jets games, and
Yeah,
I feel like in every time there was a big moment, he just came up short.
yeah, I feel it. And then who do you have, Emmett?
I have Trevor Lawrence. A little high, but overall, I think it
around
was
this-
decent. It was decent.
Around the same area that I got
Yeah.
him. So, and then at 22, I have the Panthers' Bryce Young. He had definitely a better season than last year after being benched and being then put back in after Andy Dalton. He kind of picked things up and ended up after starting 14 games, or sorry, he started 12 games. He had 2,400 yards, and that's pretty good for a sophomore player who is especially on the Panthers with such a bad organization that they have there. I feel like he's going to have a pretty good year next year. I know that a lot of people are super high on him. I'm not one of those people, but I think that he could definitely get up to that top 15-ish area next year.
Yeah. At 22, I have Derek Carr, and
Okay.
I don't have a defense for this one, honestly.
Yeah.
I just had to throw him in somewhere.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's kind of what you got to do with Derek Carr. All right, and then who do you have at 22?
I have Dak Prescott.
Okay. Oh.
A little high.
Wow.
A little high. A little high.
That's pretty high there.
That is very high.
It's pretty high, but he did get injured pretty early.
Yeah.
Who do you have for 21?
For 21, I have Aaron Rodgers. Like you said, just not great leadership on that Jets team, and I am not a Rodgers fan just in general, and that continues on this ranking. So I may be a little bit biased, but I just do not like Aaron Rodgers. Who do you got?
I have Caleb Williams. So
Okay.
I personally think he held on to the ball really long, and I know the Bears O-line was bad, but I think he did not help with that. And they obviously didn't win a lot of games. I know that has a lot to do with coaching too, but I personally don't. I'm
Okay.
not the highest
Yeah.
on him.
And then who do you have at 21, Emmett?
I have C.J. Stroud.
Oh, okay. Just
He's low. That's pretty low for him, but
I guess like with his sophomore slump that he had, I won't put him.
He still had like 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. That's still pretty good.
no,
Yeah,
yeah.
like-
Realizing now, I think I put him a little low.
Okay, at 20, I have Matthew Stafford, and I realize that this is a little low with a 3,700-yard season, having a ratio of 20-8. Just not a lot of touchdowns, like averaging just over like one a game after starting 16 games, only throwing 20. Like, I think he's solid, but nothing crazy. Just fits right in for me at that 20 spot.
Yeah, at 20, I have Geno Smith.
Oh, wow.
So I know that we're all Seahawks fans here, so we're definitely biased for him. But if he had a lot of yards, 4,300.
Yes,
But
yes.
21 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Now, watching every Seahawks game, I feel like he was the reason they didn't make the playoffs. Because
It was the O-line.
well, okay,
The
I know
O-line
the
was the
O-line
reason.
sucked and didn't do
combination of the
any
two?
help at all. But I feel like, I mean, that Rams game, like, almost killed me. I don't know. When he threw 3 interceptions, 2 pick sixes.
Yes, but
I don't-
He has the.
I am the Seahawks fan that probably hates Geno the most.
He has the 4th most passing yards in the league. Like, I just can't look past that. Like,
It was. I don't know. I don't care about the passing yards. He helped JSN.
yeah,
I know that.
he had a crazy season.
Dude, I love JSN, but okay. I mean, who do you have at 20?
Drake May.
Oh, okay.
That's not crazy.
That's not crazy. Pro Bowl quarterback, although nobody likes the Pro Bowl, and the Pro Bowl chooses some of the worst quarterbacks.
For sure. I am
sure.
very high on Drake May. I like him.
Me too.
I love his rushing upside. I don't know.
Also, with nobody to throw to on that
Yeah, for sure.
New England Patriots
Kendrick
team.
Bourne.
Yeah, Jalen Polk. Like,
Dude, Jalen Polk was like the bust of the draft.
oh, come on. Come on now.
He was
Oh, yeah,
very
Husky
good
fan.
for UW.
Yeah.
Husky fan.
He was pretty good for you, though. All right. So, are we on 19 now?
Yeah.
All right. So, for 19, I have Caleb Williams. As a Williams semi-fan, he's very interesting for sure. Just he had a decent season, and I feel like with better coaching in Ben Johnson,
Yeah.
then he'll definitely do.
I think he'll definitely be better
Yeah.
this upcoming year. At 19, I have Russell Wilson. Sure, I don't know. That second half of the season,
Yeah.
I would have put him a lot higher during the first half, but
Yeah.
I don't know. After he left Seattle, I don't feel like he's been a top
Yeah.
half quarter.
I mean,
top 15
a ratio of 16-5 is pretty good,
But
also only 2,400 yards in like 11 games. That's not great. Not great, but obviously, like, I'm a big time Wilson fan. Probably one of my favorite players of all time.
I loved him when he was on the Hawks.
Yeah.
All right. Who do you have at 19?
I have Drew Lock.
Drew Lock. Wow. Wait.
Drew Lock is not a starter, my guy.
We were doing Daniel Jones. And anyways, that's still a crazy take.
Yeah.
That's still a crazy take regardless.
Do you know what Drew Lock's stats are?
Not good.
You can say that again.
Not good.
Yeah.
Okay, dude.
How many games did he even play?
Like, 4? Actually, I don't know. He might have played a lot. He played 8. Okay, 8 games, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 130. Oh, my goodness. 133 yards per game.
Yeah,
That is not good. Oh my
not
gosh,
good.
that's a crazy take. What do you have him at? 19? You're saying there's
the
dude,
backup Giants quarterback.
You're saying he's the 19th best. That is crazy. Wait, yeah, he was the
He's
third,
the third
string.
behind DeVito. Oh my god.
Goodness, that's a crazy
That's the worst.
take.
That's the worst take I've ever heard.
He was in
Honestly.
Seattle though for a while.
Okay,
so-
I
That's
don't
still
care.
the worst
I
take
don't
I've
care.
ever
He
heard.
That's-
did win against
Oh
the
my
Eagles.
goodness.
In
That's a
Seattle.
horrible take.
Horrible
I don't
take.
even want to hear that.
Oh my goodness.
At 18, I have C.J. Stroud.
Alright, yeah.
Sophomore slump, pretty mediocre season. Led his team to the playoffs. Kind of struggled at the end, but overall I'm a pretty good Stroud fan, so
That's
I'll-
very fair.
I'll keep him there with a 3,700 yard season, like
Yeah.
just right there in the middle.
At 18 for me, I have Bryce Young. I know this is pretty high, but I personally am a Bryce Young fan, and
Yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. I like him.
yeah.
I feel like that supporting cast did not do him any help.
And then
Alright.
who do you have at 18?
I have Deshaun Watson.
Jesus
That is crazy.
Christ.
Oh my goodness.
Deshaun Watson?
He is the worst quarterback in the NFL, starting in the NFL.
I agree with that one. Deshaun
I-
Watson.
I'm a Deshaun Watson fan.
Okay, that is a crazy thing to say.
We're
5
gonna have to
touchdowns.
censor that in the podcast.
Oh
Oh, my
my
god.
gosh.
7 games. He had a ratio of 5 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. He didn't even average 1 touchdown every game. He had
That's pretty crazy there, Emmett.
1,148 yards
But it wasn't. We never
in 7 games.
determined it had to be on stats.
Yes. What do you
Well,
want to base
ranking
it
how
on?
they did. What is your basis? His personality,
Yeah,
his
good
decision
personality.
making, his decision making.
Oh my
outside
god,
of
we're gonna have to censor that on the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
We're just gonna move right on. At 17, I have Drake May. I don't really feel like I have to explain this. It seems like the perfect place to put him. Just like mid-season, but I feel like he'll do good next season, and I just like him at 17 there.
At 17, I have C.J. Stroud. I was ready to put him as a top 5 quarterback after his rookie year.
I could not agree more. And then he kind of just
yeah.
disappointed a lot of people.
I know the offensive coordinator situation
Yeah.
wasn't great there, but still, I don't know. Who do you have?
I have Russell Wilson.
Okay, that's
It's
a
a little high.
That's a good
but
spot
that's
to put
pretty
him.
good. Pretty good.
I actually have Wilson at my 16. Just all in all mid-season, led the Steelers to the playoffs, or we don't know if that was Mike Tomlin's devil magic
Oh,
or
it was
not.
definitely Mike Tomlin, if you ask me.
But I wonder what they're gonna do this offseason, and that'll be something fun to watch for.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm a Fields believer. I think he should be a starter.
Yeah, I agree with that. Who do you got at
All right,
16?
this is definitely my craziest take. At 16, I have Jalen Hurts.
That's not crazy at all.
I am not a Jalen Hurts fan.
I'm close with that.
I think he is crazy overrated, and if he did not do very good in the game, I don't know. I feel like if watching it, AJ Brown had so many plays he was wide open, and he just got missed.
Yeah, with players surrounding him like Dallas Goedert, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, former Heisman winner.
That's so crazy to me.
But also they did just kind of let Saquon run wild. and
Saquon went crazy.
That's the
this
reason
year.
that they made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And obviously we
Best
haven't
player
seen
on
that
that
yet,
team.
but that might be the reason that they win the Super Bowl.
I hope. I'm a Saquon fan. I'm not rooting for either team. I'm rooting for Saquon this Super Bowl.
I agree with that.
All right. I mean, who do you have at 16?
I have Bryce Young.
Okay, that's not
That's
crazy.
pretty high, but
That's a little
It's a
high.
little
but
high, but he did have a decent season.
Yeah. Okay.
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 who do you have at 15?
At 15, I don't think your take was crazy at all. I have Jalen Hurts at 15.
Oh, okay.
Just
yeah.
exactly what you said. Just a great supporting cast, and then just overall just a little disappointing.
Yeah. At my 15, I have Drake May. I know that's really high.
Not
but
really.
I believe in Drake May. I still believe he was the best. I believed before the draft he was the best quarterback in that class, and I now think it's definitely Jane Daniels.
I can't think of anybody
but
else
I
who
still
would
think May.
think that Daniels is not the best.
I still think May is definitely the second best in my opinion. I think that rushing upside reminds me of Josh Allen if they use him right.
Yeah. And then who do you got at 15?
Kyler Murray.
Okay, that's not crazy. I know that some people
I'm a Murray hater,
really love Kyler.
in my opinion.
I'm a Kyler lover. I always end up drafting him in fantasy, so
Yeah.
that obviously has something to do with it. But
All right. Who do you have 14, Carter?
14, I have Brock Purdy. I know that the 49ers were in shambles this year, which as a Seahawks fan, it was very fun to watch.
Oh yeah,
That
was nice.
But he just didn't have a great season. I know he got hurt, and I know that Christian McCaffrey and running backs kept getting hurt, but like a ton of people know, running back is not the main position in football, and that's the quarterback spot. And Brock Purdy, all in all, midseason. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
At 14, I have Matt Stafford. I don't know. After that Super Bowl they won, I've not been a Stafford fan. I'm a Seahawks fan, but
Yeah.
I just think he's a little bit. I mean, I know he's led to a lot of great wide receiver seasons.
Yeah.
But he was not the best this year.
Yeah. All right. And who do you have at 14, Emmett?
I have Geno Smith.
Okay.
Okay. I'm definitely the biggest Seahawks Geno Smith hater.
Yeah.
He did get sold by the O-line.
For sure.
I
that
agree.
that first Broncos game with 2 safety was hard to watch.
Yeah.
Pulling off over 4,000 passing yards with that O-line is pretty impressive.
Yeah. But also just all the interceptions is the one drawback.
He is a very mid quarterback.
Yeah. 13, I have Jordan Love. Pretty good season for him. And he kept kind of getting hurt, but He ended up bouncing back. He played 15 games, threw a ratio of 25-11, and then had 3,300 passing yards. Pretty good season for him, and that's all that I gotta say.
At 13, I have Kyler Murray. I'm definitely a Kyler Murray hater. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't think I think he kind of sold the rookie season, Marvin Harrison Jr.'s rookie season. But
Yeah.
That's just me. All right, Emmett, who do you have at 13?
I have Brock Purdy.
Okay.
I put him just a little bit higher because he did have a lot of injuries on his team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Brock Purdy at 12 because
Oh, wow.
I don't know. I would have honestly had him higher last year, but there was a lot of injuries, and I still believe in him personally.
As a Seahawks fan, I hope that he, just...
Yeah, I mean, I still
Ends
hate
up-
the 49ers.
Yeah. At 12, I have Geno Smith. As one of the biggest Geno fans, he threw a lot of yards.
Lots of interceptions.
I know he threw a lot of interceptions, and I know that he was very reckless with the ball, but I still don't care. When you throw for that many yards, it's still impressive no matter what. Who do you got at 12?
At 12, I have Sam Darnold.
Okay. That's not a crazy take. A little low in my opinion.
I have Darnold at 11.
Okay. How come? What are your guys' reasons?
He led them to. I mean, they did fall apart in the wild card for sure.
Not just the wild card. That last game.
Yeah, that against the Lions, that was crazy. I don't know. He still was very surprising.
Yeah, that's true.
Just of a
I don't
season.
think anybody expected the Vikings to do that.
Oh yeah,
well.
I thought they were gonna have a top 5 pick for sure.
Yeah.
He did pull off a very good, unexpected season.
Yep. At 11, I have Kyler Murray. As a Kyler Murray fan, I really like his rushing upside, along with the fact that he's growing to become more accurate and one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the league. Who do you got at 11, Emmett?
I have Matthew Stafford.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, okay.
That's pretty high,
Yeah.
in my opinion. I had him at 20.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, as
Right.
you said, you were a Matthew Stafford hater.
That's true. And I guess it can range either way. At 10, I have Justin Herbert. He led the Chargers very well through 3,800 yards and then had a ratio of 23 to only 3 interceptions.
That is
which is
outstanding.
Just
in my
very
opinion.
impressive. Being able to play in all 17 games and leading the Chargers to an 11-6 record. Just impressive by Herbert, and I think that it was just a very good season for him, and that he continues to grow into one of the better quarterbacks in this league.
Yeah. At 10, I had Jordan Love.
Okay.
I believe in Jordan Love. I think he's very good, and I think he did definitely have a down year. He was 16th in yards per game, but 12 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. I don't know. I think he led them pretty well. I do think the Packers are going to be worse next year, especially in that division.
Mhm.
I mean, going 1-5 in divisional games and still making the playoffs is, or whatever. But that's still kind of crazy.
Yeah. Who do you got, Emmett, for 10?
Justin Herbert.
Okay.
Okay, that's not crazy.
Nice. And then for 9, I have the Vikings' own Sam Darnold. I was very impressed with Darnold. Just great year. No, like you said, nobody expected him to do well, and just ended up surprising a lot of people. Who do you got for 9?
For 9, I have Justin Herbert. I mean, he really did have an outstanding year. 14th in yards per game, and then 23 touchdowns for only 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
And I know we weren't really supposed to count the playoffs into this, but he did kind of sell that their game against the Texans.
That was pretty
but
bad.
I still think he had a very good year, and I'm excited to see what they do in the future with
Yep.
their new coach.
Who do you got at 9?
Jordan Love.
Okay.
Nice.
So
Okay.
he's right in that area. It's like Darnold, Herbert, and Love. They can
We all had
like,
him
kinda-
right there. Yeah. All right, who you got at 8?
At 8, I have Bo Nix.
Oh, I have him at 8 too.
Nobody expected the Broncos to be that good this season, except for Broncos fans.
Oh yeah, I thought they were.
I thought
they were
that they
top five
would.
pick.
They had a chance to go 0-17.
Honestly.
In my opinion,
I
But-
was a Bo Nix hater
yeah, me too.
coming out of
He just very much surprised me and a lot of people, and just a great rookie season. In my opinion, would have been the best quarterback in the class if it weren't for Jane Daniels out there in Washington. Who do you got at 9, Emmett? Or, sorry, 8.
I have Jalen Hurts.
Oh, wow.
I know, very high. But
Wow.
I mean, he did have a good performance. I just think he sold the team, in my opinion.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
I
a
know a
little
lot of
biased towards Saquon, so
Yeah, I do love Saquon. Just the 28th in yards per game only 18 touchdowns.
Yeah, only 2,900 yards.
Yeah, but that's
And being-
28th in yards per game.
Yeah. It's
Behind guys like Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence, and Gardner Minshew, that's kind of crazy.
yeah. All right, at 7, I have everybody's favorite player, Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, I have Mahomes at 7 too.
I just think that it was a bad year for him, but obviously, like 3,900 yards and then a ratio of 26-11. Like, it's not crazy stats, but then leading your team to a 15-1 record, that's just something I can't look past.
Yeah.
And I do not like Patrick Mahomes, but it would be crazy to say that he is not a top 10 quarterback in this league right now.
I'm definitely a Mahomes hater. Looking at the stats, I would probably put him at like 10 on stats, but you have to bump him up just for that record.
Yeah.
Who do you have at 7, Emmett?
I have Jaden Daniels.
That's a little low.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little low, but he is a rookie.
Exactly, which means he has much more growth that he can get. Like, I know
What?
his passing stats aren't like
They're
that
not crazy,
impressive,
but
but like as a rookie in Washington with nobody besides Terry McLaurin around him, like
I mean Zach Ertz is pretty good.
just be quiet, just be quiet.
A lot of his wins, though, have been very much helped by their very good defense.
That is a crazy take.
That's a crazy statement.
That's a crazy take.
He's like-
oh my goodness.
One of the most clutch quarterbacks in this league right now.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
No,
In my
I
opinion.
agree.
He has clutched up some games, but
Who do you? Oh wait, yeah, that was your 7. Okay.
At 6, I have Baker Mayfield. Just a
Ooh, I have him at 6
great
too.
year for him.
41
7.
passing touchdowns is crazy.
41 touchdowns, but a lot of interceptions. He had 16.
Yeah.
4,500 yards, though. It's just insane. Just a great year for Mayfield, and that's why he deserves that 6th spot.
Yeah, I think he did tie for the most interceptions, but 41 touchdowns that's second most on touchdowns, I believe,
Yeah.
and then third most on yards per game. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
That's just pretty crazy to me.
Yep. And then who do you have at 6?
Yeah, he was second on touchdowns.
Joe Burrow.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
okay.
that is crazy take after the season he had.
He did have a very good season. And I know I
Yes.
put him a little low.
43 touchdowns, 9 interceptions,
Almost
led the Triple
5,000
Crown,
yards.
and almost 5,000 yards. That is crazy.
And you have him at 6. Like, I know they didn't make the
little low, a
playoffs,
little
but
low.
I don't think anybody
That was their defense
blames
fault.
Burrow. Like,
Yeah, or Jamar Chase, or Trey Hendrickson.
yeah. Like,
That is crazy.
that's a crazy take right there.
Who do you
But,
have at 5, Cody?
at 5, I have Jared Goff.
Oh, we are on fire with the matching right now.
Yeah. A breakout year for him, I think. 4,600 yards and 37 touchdowns. I know he had 12 interceptions, but then he led his team to a 15-2 record.
Second yards per game is pretty crazy too.
And not bringing playoffs into any of this because everybody was disappointed with how
Oh
that
my gosh,
Lions.
I wanted a Lionsville Super Bowl.
Well, actually, I don't think everyone was disappointed in that. It was pretty cool to see Jane Daniels win.
It was. That was nice.
But just a great year for Goff. Just in general.
Who do you have at
Which
5,
makes him
Emmett?
that top 5 spot. Who
I
do you
have Bo Nix.
Oh,
okay.
that is
So-
crazy.
That's
He
pretty
doesn't
good.
have a very good team.
Okay.
He is a rookie. He has a ton of potential.
Hold on. You have Bo Nix above Jane Daniels.
That,
I know,
he was
it's a hot
18th
take.
in-
It's a
Bro,
hot take.
That is a crazy.
It's a hot
That's not
take.
even a hot take. That's like
You
a
have
fire
Bo
take.
Nix above Joe Burrow.
Yes, I do. Because he is a rookie and he has a lot of potential.
That is crazy.
Okay.
I just don't see Jay Daniels growing as much.
Bro, what?
That
What
makes
makes
one
that?
of us.
Dude, he's a check down merchant.
Yes. He did have some good deep passes.
Yeah.
I'll be fair.
He's a very
But
good deep ball. But yes.
he does not deserve that spot, though.
All right, who
I'm
do you
just
have at
gonna-
4?
4, I have the real best rookie. I have Jaden Daniels.
Bro, is that like 4 in a row for us?
Yeah, that is.
That's crazy.
Great year for Jaden Daniels. Great rushing upside and just phenomenal performance for the rookie. I feel like it's a clean sweep for Rookie of the Year for him.
Yeah, I agree
And
with everything there.
I don't feel like there is much argument for anybody else.
Brock Bowers is the only close person, I think.
Not even that close. Okay, who do you got at 4, Emmett?
I have Baker Mayfield. A little high.
That's not even crazy.
That-
if
that's
you
not
take
bad.
down the
It's not crazy. It's not
interceptions,
crazy.
He had
really
a,
good
he had a
have-
great
He
season.
did have a
But
very
you
good
take
season.
away some of the interceptions. I mean, 7.2% touchdown percentage. That's kind of crazy.
At 3, I have Joe Burrow.
Same.
He had a phenomenal year, and I feel like if that Bengals team even won one more game and went to the playoffs, he would probably be the MVP front runner. But just not being able to get over the hump, and I know that's not his fault, but
You
it's
do
just
have to
kind of
take team success
it's
into
kind
the-
of tough
into the
to
MVP race.
yeah
Yeah, I have him there too. That was a crazy passing season.
yeah.
Just a team
Yeah.
success.
I still can't get over the 4,900 yards. It's just crazy. Who do you have at 3, Emmett?
I have Patrick Mahomes.
Oh,
my
my
God.
God. Jesus.
What's your defense? What's
Yeah,
your
wh-
defense for this?
What's your defense for this one?
He only had 2 fumbles.
That's your
Nobody
defense.
cares about fumbles.
Bro,
it's
what?
a quarterback
That
ranking.
is crazy.
And he has some decent yardage there.
Still,
And Travis Kelce, who he normally depends on, has not been having a great year.
but that's also kind of his fault.
Yeah. He's the team's
But-
leader. He should be bringing everybody else up instead of having them decline.
He did make it to the Super Bowl.
That was all Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Who did Andy Reid help? Who did Andy Reid need? And
His
Patrick
defense.
Mahomes
The Chiefs'
was Andy
defense.
Reid's
The Chiefs' black magic.
Yes.
queen. He was his queen.
What?
The most powerful
my
piece
That is
on his
crazy.
board.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Bro,
yeah.
what?
All right, just moving on from
Moving
that. Number 2, I have Lamar Jackson.
Same. Oh my goodness.
Great year for him. 4,172 yards, and then 41 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions is just phenomenal.
And the rushing upside with him too is
Yeah.
crazy.
Just a great year from Lamar. I would have liked to see him go to the Super Bowl, but unfortunately that was not the case. And I feel like he's now going to be one of the biggest playoff chokers that anybody has ever seen. They're going to say that at least.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Who do you have at 2, Emmett?
I have Josh Allen.
Okay. That's a take. But
I
He
feel it's
didn't
fair.
have the passing
did
yards
not
and touchdowns
have
that Lamar had.
He didn't have an insane amount of passing yards. Pretty good rushing yards compared to most quarterbacks.
pretty good. Like,
But Lamar Jackson.
yeah. Is it?
Lamar
and
Jackson.
Is that your
went
one?
crazy.
Is that your one?
Lamar Jackson is my one.
Okay, yeah. Lamar had a great year.
Lamar did everything.
That's not crazy.
Lamar
I'd say
did
then.
Yeah,
everything
but
Because
it's
better.
not
the
crazy.
MVP is definitely between
Lamar
those
did
two.
everything
Easily,
better
100%.
besides number
I
of
mean, I
rushing
think
touchdowns
Saquon should
and
be
fumbles.
MVP, but
Hold on. Let's talk about the help that each of them had around them. Who did Lamar have? He had Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers.
Mark Andrews.
that's a
Mark
crazy
Andrews.
one to start with.
Rashad Bateman is good. What do you mean?
No, I'm just saying, out of all the options you could
Mark
start
Andrews
with.
is a very good tight end.
Derrick Henry, a top 2 running back in this league right now.
Yeah.
And then who does Josh Allen have? He has James Cook, who everybody's so high on him. I am not. I think that he's,
I like James Cook in fantasy.
I think he's probably the 12th best running back in this league.
It's not crazy.
I think that he did not have any good receivers this year,
Mhm.
and that
Cleo Shakir.
he was able to bring all of his receivers up, and that's a good trait to have in your
Yeah.
quarterback.
I mean,
and
he did
also,
Mark Cooper at the end, but he kind of sucked.
yeah, I know that playoffs aren't supposed to matter, but just the head-to-head between Josh Allen and Lamar. That's why I have Josh Allen at 1 because of that playoff win. I think that it could go either way, but that's just why I have him at 1.
Yeah, at number 1, I have Mac Jones.
Oh
No,
my God.
I'm kidding. I have Josh Allen. I think he's the MVP and the best player in the league.
Yeah.
All right, that is the completed list. I
Yep.
think Emmett had some crazy takes in there.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening to the first ever episode of the Turnover Podcast, and I'll hope to see you guys next time. Bye.